All right. And I just happened to be behind this guy on a Harley, one of my favorite twisty roads, and I thought I would follow him and make some comments on how he's doing. A few things I generally talk about with my on-street riding students are things like body position and cornering lines, and things like entry speeds, timing, getting on the gas out to get out of corners. See how this guy does. Most riders, this guy may be one of them, they don't really follow cornering lines. They just sort of ride up the middle of the road. This guy actually is doing a little bit of conscious cornering lines outside. There you go, inside. And accelerating out a little bit, sort of staying a little too much in the middle, but that's okay. One thing you'll notice when he's cornering is he's sitting pretty much upright, and then notice his upper body is actually counterweighting. Not so much to the right, but when he leans left, his right shoulder stays up. You won't notice that here. You'll notice it in tighter turns. So instead of dropping his inside shoulder, which would encourage the bike to lean, he's actually sitting on top of it and counterweighting. See how he's making slight adjustments in corners. That's typical also of somebody who's really not making a very conscious commitment to his cornering, not looking well enough ahead. The guy's doing a decent job, and most people would ride behind him and go, hey, he's fine, he's doing great. But when you start scrutinizing the little things, these are the things that really can bring you to the next level of proficiency. So if you notice where I am compared to where he is, just again, he's sort of riding up the middle of the road. I'm just going to set myself up a little bit wider so that I make more of a straight shot through this little section of corners. See, I'm going to come in close to the white line here, whereas he's over in the middle. Really small details that you may think are insignificant. But by following, the contour of the corner as opposed to making your own ideal line, it just says that you're really not all that engaged, You're not using all the tools or the options that are available to you. And I would also encourage this guy to, roll on the gas a little bit stronger as he exits turns. And it's not for speed, it's for stability. The bike really wants to be driven out of corners with a good positive drive to the rear wheel. Get into a little bit of twisties up here. We'll see how he does. The next time you're behind somebody, you can maybe think about, some of these points, and also, of course, evaluate your own riding, your body position, and your cornering lines, and your timing of your throttle. Here's a blind right-hand turn. See how he handles it. He was a little late in turning up over the hill. Other than that, he's doing just fine. Again, it's just, he's an average rider. He's out for a cruise. he is setting up to the outside of the corner, which is good. He's got the basic concept. It's a little bit close to the inside of the curve for my taste, because how often do cars come up and over the hills, blind hills, with their front wheel on the center line or even over the center line? I would be much further away from this red truck than he is. He was a little slow in getting himself out of the way. In another blind hill, stay out far to the right, and I get a better look around the corner than if you're in close. And that's also the danger zone if there's somebody in the oncoming lane who's crossing the center line. Now, there you have it. Joe average, maybe slightly above average, considering a few things, you know, as the cornering lines. Many people don't even really kind of consider it as much as he did, so good for him.